We're like, we need to do something about drunk
Dude,
uncles at
seriously.
gigs. I think I was performing Lag Ja Gale or something. Suddenly, out of the blue, I hear a voice, Oi!
Oh
Isko
my
band kar.
god. What?
It's Adarsh is at Adarsh ko मैंने देखा
Yeah.
bro. It's like bro तू बजाते रहे. तू गाते रहे, तू मत सोच. Like this was the best use of Gulabi
Ever.
Aankhen ever.
I love that. That's crazy.
What's up, guys? You're watching episode 5 of Muso Talks, and today we have none other than new teleporn and raised independent singer and songwriter, producer of average demos, and an avid lover of all memes, Tyesha Kohli. Hi, what's up, Tyesha? How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Vardaan?
Doing good, doing good. Thank you. How's your day?
Good. It's Delhi weather, typical Delhi weather. Really hot. And I'm sitting in a room with no like fan, air conditioning, nothing. So all good though.
The podcast has made it hard for you to.
A little bit. So it's
I know,
fine.
dude. It's become so hard because we can't go to studios and record anymore, and
Yeah.
we can't work in a treated environment. So
Which is so nifty. It's really nice because I mean I've had half of my setup for like years now, and I never really put it to use. It's only during these last during this last 1 year and a half that I've done all my recordings at home, and it's just everything is just with this small setup. So it's really nice. Yeah.
perfect. So how's quarantine been for you?
Um, I think same as everyone. I've just been writing a lot, more than I used to. It's definitely given me the time and space to think a lot. So that's nice. That's been nice. I've been writing a lot. I've been collaborating a lot. But I've been taking my own time with it because it's obviously a very stressful environment to work in, especially as creative people. It's just gets really exhausting and creatively draining sometimes, and you just don't feel like writing a lot. But then sometimes there are these days where there's absolutely nothing happening around you, and then you find the right time to sort of breathe and just write, create something, do something. Yeah.
Correct. I mean, it's very ironical how this is the best time to be creative and also the hardest time to be creative
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah.
So, you, what are you? You're more of the studio person or the stage person?
Oh, that's a very good question because I think I have issues with both the setups. It's funny because I sometimes I don't even feel like an on-stage person. I'd be very honest. I don't know. Um, I mean, it is something that I have really, immersed myself in the last 4 5 years. I've been a performer, but I prefer being in the studio. I think because it's about the it's being able to take your time with everything. It's not everything in just like you just have to do it at one point. You can take your time by doing something and take a break and then do something else, and you know so it's that kind of
Right.
a flexible environment that I kind of crave when I'm on stage. Yeah.
Correct.
Because stage pay, if you do one thing, it's done. Like you can't repeat it. You can't be like, you know what, I don't think I did this song right. Let me just do it again. So you can't do that.
Exactly. I was listening to Salim Suleiman's
Uh-huh.
podcast, which is called Off the Record.
Uh-huh.
I love that name, first of all.
Yeah.
And then their guest was Shankar Mahadevan, and they were talking
Oh
about all
wow.
the 30, 40 years of music,
Yeah.
that they've been connected through. And they were just saying, like if you have a very difficult day with your voice, with your throat,
Mm.
you can still get by on stage, because you just it's the
Mm.
moment, it's the energy. You can go
Yeah.
through it, you can perform once, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to like do it in the studio, like for when you're recording covers or originals or anything
Mm.
like that. And so that also brings me to a very good point that it's not necessary for all artists to have like a great online presence.
Uh-huh.
Like
I
it's
agree.
fine if you don't have massive numbers. You could be doing an absolutely
So
stunning
much
job
better.
at
Yeah.
like performing live. You must be having a
Yeah.
huge audience in your particular area where people are not so much on Instagram. And like it's also about the age group. Like you
Yeah.
could have a lot of people who, like elderly people or 40s or 50s, who are probably not that active on Instagram, but thousands of them look forward to calling you and even
Yeah,
paying you.
yeah, yeah.
Like ultimately, this is a business as well. So
Yeah. True. Completely agree. Yeah.
this entire thing about like making a huge presence online and
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah. And it also like sometimes keeping that, just jumping off of what you just said, keeping that whole numbers wala thing in mind. I mean, if that becomes your focal point after a while, even though it's unintentional, like even though you're not thinking of it entirely, but you're somewhere thinking of it, and it's unintentionally become the one thing that you're craving out of your content. You make content for that very reason. You end up making content that you might not even yourself listen to, and I've seen that in so many
absolutely.
people. I've seen that in myself sometimes. Yeah, and it's just and it's always been like a curve where you're like, I've made these things for other people. Now it's my turn to make things for myself, you know?
Correct.
So learning, unlearning constantly, that keeps going. And that's, yeah, that's what it is for everyone, I'd say.
Unlearning is the biggest thing here,
Yeah,
because there's so much content that we're consuming every day, listening to so many
yeah.
people, artists, so much new music and like whatnot, like things that could
Mm-hmm.
never be discovered, say 10 years back.
Yeah.
And
Exactly, yeah.
we have so
Yeah.
much in our heads, but it's also very important to clear it out and then focus and then make something that
Mm-hmm.
comes from within you. So let's talk a little bit about your journey and uh, how you learned music, if you've learned music formally, and how did you decide to pursue music.
So, I think it's for every one of us. I think it's a very common story where we, bachpan se we've been introduced to music. I mean, a lot of us, most of us, I'd say.
Yeah.
Especially in my case, my mom would sing to me a lot, and I would, sit and just like sing stuff with her, or my dad has like the biggest cassette selection collection till now. He does. So it's and it was very different. Like my mom would be all into like old Bollywood music or classical stuff, and my dad would be listening to Brian Adams and other things, and artists of that genre. So it was a very diverse listening environment, I would say. And that just kind of got me to a point where I think I started, humming, singing, whatever. As a kid, my mom would tell me, you would like she still tells me, you would like sing some random melody, make up shit on your own, and you would just keep humming to yourself. We thought you're possessed, but you're not. And I was like, okay, that's weird. Thanks for that, I guess. But but like when I
Crazy hote
grew
yaar
up, and
parents
then
hamare.
yeah, I swear. And then when I was just growing up, school came along, and then I was one of the two people who didn't get horrible marks in music classes. So I was like, okay, maybe that's nice. I feel like, because before that point, believe it or not, as a child, I thought everyone could do this. Like everyone could sing. Like
Yeah.
even I didn't know I was
Correct.
singing as such, but it was just like, yeah, it's like everyone, we're all singing rhymes and everyone sounds great to me. So I don't know what's different. But it took me a while. Like it took me a long time to realize that this is actually my interest and this is my, hobby. It started becoming a hobby, and then when I was like, I think eighth, ninth, 10th, throughout my, graduation of high school and stuff,
Yeah.
it became all the more clear that this is what I want to do. And things only escalated after I went to JMC in DU, Jesus and
Yeah.
Mary College. I joined their a cappella group, and it was just clear as day for me that, okay, this is what I want to do. No matter what I do, where I end up, this has to be a part of my life. I think that's one of the moments where I felt like, yeah, singing with like 18 people who like the same music as you, and just having fun, and singing every day, that was the best. That was the best time ever. For 3 years I got to do that. I'm so thankful. and it just made everything else in my life so much more clear, and there was a lot of clarity with what I want to do, what kind of music I want to do. It pushed me into performing, it pushed me into doing gigs and stuff. I started learning professionally because I didn't do that bachpan se. I hadn't been able to do that bachpan se because I never could find the right teacher because I didn't know what I wanted. But finding the right guidance and the teacher was so important and just so impossible at times that
I know.
I only found my true guide and my teacher when I was back in 2017. So yeah, just as I had graduated college. So this was Sentinel Lucia, and she's been my
Are you
guide
learning
ever
from
since
Lucia?
then. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did
Wow.
3 years with her. So and then I joined Berkeley. So she really pushed me to join Berkeley, and then it was just she's still my guide. She's still my very good friend. And she's always going to be my teacher. So it's yeah, it's because of her that I again things started becoming more and more clear. Like I would feel, yeah, maybe I should stop and do something else. Maybe this is not for me, because I would feel like less of a performer at times during
Yeah.
gigs and stuff. But it just having the right kind of people around you who sometimes know better than you know about your art, it really helps. So yeah, that was
Yeah, that's what everybody says, right? If your top five people you surround yourself with, if
hmm.
they are like really happy and talented and like really positive and
Yeah.
focused, that's what you grab from them and that's what you become.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Correct. So when you said Berkeley and you said 2017, I remember the first time where we met. That was the what was that Berkeley? It was
Berkeley India
some
Exchange.
workshop, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was you're talking about the 2 week, no, 1 week thing, right? The 1 week
It was
workshop.
it was a week or it was like a weekend thing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like a 5 day workshop ish thingy, right? The Berkeley boot
sort of
camp.
thing. Yeah,
Is that the one you're talking about, right? Yeah.
correct, correct.
So
But
that was
it
a
was
lot of
called
fun.
something else. So I remember some of our teachers there. There was Mark who you play the keys. Like all the Berkeley alumni, they came here. Like I think four or five,
Oh
and Clint
wait,
was
I think
there.
you. Yeah, wait. I think you're talking about 2015. That's the Berkeley Tandon Clinic in Delhi. That's
Oh yes,
the
yes,
one you're
yes,
talking about,
yes,
right? I completely
yes.
forgot that that also happened. Oh my god. This was back in 2015. Oh my god. Yeah. That was a 2 day course, I remember.
Correct,
And
correct.
it was, we got these certificates at the end of it, and we had to perform. Um, what was the song that we had to do? Like everyone was put into groups and everyone had to perform something.
I know everybody was
Uh,
doing a song by Alicia Keys,
Alicia Keys. Yeah, it was Falling. I remember now.
Falling.
Oh my god, yeah. I went with my best friend, I remember, at that time.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. It was so much fun. Oh my god. When you talk about
Dude,
2015 like this, it sounds like it's like ages ago. It was 6 years
correct.
ago. Holy shit.
6 years ago, I know. And I
Wow.
was so fascinated by those teachers and every single word that they said.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was literally recording every single word, and
Uh-huh.
I remember by the end of it, those teachers, all of them were flying back to to
Hmm.
Berkeley, and
Yeah.
so there was this one guy who was the bassist. I don't remember the name,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my god.
Winston or I don't know what,
Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah.
something like
I
that.
think Winston is the name. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I still
Winston
have all
something.
the
I
videos and
forgot.
everything like still here.
Yeah.
I've recorded everything. I keep watching them like in 1 or 2 years. It's like
Yeah.
oof. And
Yeah. It's
so
crazy.
that guy, he didn't get a seat in the cab because it was full.
Hmm.
So I offered him to drive him to the airport, like right
Yeah.
behind, like following the other car. And I got to
Yeah.
spend those extra 20 to 25 minutes with him.
Oh, that's
And
so cool. I never
so I
knew
was
that.
recording our entire conversation,
Yeah.
whatever he and I talked, and I was like, that is why you
Yeah.
need to get into Berkeley. Like you don't
Yeah.
have these sort of teachers in education here. It's it's the experience that this guy has. about
True.
even after like teaching for like 10, 20 years at Berkeley.
Yeah. You know, he's
And
still there, by the way.
oh
He's
God,
still there. Yeah, I looked at him. I looked up all the teachers that had been there, and I don't remember a lot of their names, but I remember like certain and I checked on the database, and he's still there.
oh God. So, what's your funniest story on stage or in the studio?
Oh, okay. Funniest story.
It could be your most embarrassing one as well,
Oh,
because
I have a very good one. So, okay. This was, I remember the date very well. It was 2nd August 2019. So 2 years ago, I think, almost. I actually had gotten into this tiny badminton related accident just a couple of months before my performance at Piano Man Gurgaon. And I was my leg was in a
God.
cast. So I remember I got the gig, and this had happened in like June or July, and then August was the gig. So I'm guessing June hoga because एक महीना तो हो लग जाता है. But my bone wasn't
Yeah.
broken. It was just a ligament tear. So but it was still in a cast, like a full blown cast. And I was like, okay, gig भी है, क्या करना है पता नहीं. So then I ended up doing it, and I ended up doing it with the cast on my leg. I was sitting in the middle of the stage and performing, and but that wasn't the only embarrassing part of the gig. It's what happened in the middle of the gig that was super funny. I was in a cast, ठीक है, everything is chill. I'm having fun. It's all good, and then suddenly all the speakers, poof, like every speaker in the house
Oh
was
God.
just boom करके पूरा सब खत्म हो गया. And in the middle of a track, in the middle of
Oh
the song,
shit.
and some कुछ फट गया ऊपर speaker. One of the PA was like you know gone. So that happened in the middle of a song, and it was not the most fun at all. um but I think
Oh shit.
besides that, that night itself was very just memorable, also because there was this drunk uncle that kept like butting into my songs, and like kept coming next to the stage and be like, ye gana gao, ye kya hai, ye kya, and then he kept saying all of that.
Dude, oh
Oh dude, he
no.
got blacklisted, by the way. He got straight up, he got blacklisted from Piano Man. He can't enter at all. And it was so funny, and I was like in my cast, and during the breaks I had to like climb down, and I was wearing this big cast boot that you have, the thing that you wear on top of the cast and stuff. So, and I
Yeah.
was walking, and the guy came up to me. He's like, hey, let me introduce you to my girlfriend. And both of them are equally drunk, okay? They're sloshed, and it's just hilarious because, and also kind of disrespectful because they kept stopping songs, and he kept screaming in the middle of my songs. And I had to like just like, yeah, like, okay, kind of just I'm not looking at you, la la. I'm just singing, and everybody's just like, get this
Oh
man out
shit.
right now. And then he gets blacklisted. It was funny. But all of this was happening while I was still
Crazy, yeah.
sitting in the middle of the stage with a cast on my leg. So that's been one hell of a memorable gig, I'd say. Fun times.
Oh God. Feel like we need to do something about
Dude,
drunk uncles at
seriously.
gigs.
Seriously.
I have so many bad experiences, and I don't know. I should call them good or funny or
Yeah.
embarrassing or what, but there's so many moments with drunk people, and what all they
Yeah.
can do when
And
they're
you wouldn't
drunk.
expect these people at these venues where we actually play our own stuff, or like we perform as artists, the kind of artists that we
Correct.
identify
I
as,
mean,
it's not, it was so surprising because these kind of things I expect at my wedding gigs and stuff, man. Like, you know यहाँ कैसे हो गया
that's what
ये?
I'm
that
saying.
that was the most, sorry, that was the most surprising out of the, that part was the most surprising. Like, I did not expect this kind of an incident to happen here.
It's crazy, dude. I was performing and one of my clients. So one time he's like, bro, last moment thing है, band का gig है,
हाँ
झज्जर में.
हैं, एक second, what,
I'm
where
like,
is that?
He's like Jhajjar mein. Jhajjar is like
Oh,
2 hours
okay.
from
Okay.
Gurgaon. And we start performing. Like, I'll cut to the chase. And everybody's enjoying because Jhajjar is like a very conservative place. A lot of it's not very hyper at all. Especially, it was like a government sort of gathering. So everybody's enjoying, everybody's chilling, and I can't see my
Uh-huh.
friend. Okay, because I was like, यार इसने invite किया, ये तो
Yeah.
होगा ही gig पे. But I didn't see him. I think I was performing Lagja Gale or something. Suddenly, out of the blue, I hear a voice, "Oi,
Oh
इसको
my
बंद
God.
कर."
What?
I'm like, oh
Oh,
shit, ये क्या हुआ? I was like, Adarsh is at Adarsh को मैंने देखा, मैंने
yeah.
bro, ये
Huh.
क्या हुआ? It's like, bro, तू बजाते रहे, तू गाते रहे, तू
Huh.
मत सोच. And then suddenly आवाज आती है, कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा है बंद?
What the hell?
And in
Yeah.
typical हरियाणवी. I was like, oh shit, bro, क्या हो रहा है?
Huh.
ये कहाँ से आवाज आ रही है? कह रहा है इसको बंद कराओ वरना इसको
Oh,
अंदर कर दो, थाने में कर दो इसको.
that's.
I was like,
Oh my God.
I was like, क्या पाप कर दिया? कह रहा है ये बंद कर, टीना मीना
Oh
डीका
my
का.
God. That is scary, dude.
कह रहा नहीं गाएगा. He's telling
Yeah.
his साथ वालों को बता रहा है. कह रहा है इसको बोलो ईना मीना डीका का है वरना अंदर करो इसको, थाने में बंद
Oh
करो.
my God. That is.
I'm like, oh shit, what is going on here? I was like, I was looking for my
Yeah.
friend. I was like, bro, कहाँ है bro?
That's scary.
And finally I saw him. He's like, टेंशन
Huh.
मत ले, तू गाने लगवा के
Huh.
नीचे आ जा. And then like probably 20 minutes
Huh.
after that guy fell off
Oh
his chair and
no.
he's like उसको दो लोग उठा के गाड़ी में ले गए. I was like, oh bro, क्या क्या दिन देखने पड़ते हैं bro
That's
हमें.
insane. यही चाहिए बस हमको आजकल.
Oh, one more time. One crazy thing happened. So I was going to the
हाँ.
airport. I don't know for what. And I had an I-20
Hmm.
car. And now for some reason, I didn't even know उसकी आगे की number plate
Okay.
टूट गई थी. And I was just coming out of
हाँ.
the airport. And पुलिस वाले ने
Oh.
रोक लिया. He's like, भाई number plate कहाँ है तुम्हारी?
Oh, it was all off?
Number plate टूट
Or
गई
was it
है.
like broken?
No, like half of
Oh
it
my
was
God,
off.
shit.
So I got off my car. I saw कि oh shit, अब क्या
हाँ.
करूँ? मैंने कहा ये तो मेरे को पता भी नहीं था. And this happened only like
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah.
airport. I was like, अब क्या करूँ? Shit. And then this guy is like, करते क्या हो? Like is in his full on like चौड़ में he is like,
Yeah.
करते क्या हो? मैं कहा सर मैं तो सिंगर
हाँ.
हूँ सर, म्यूजिशियन हूँ. कह रहे गाने बजाते हो. I was like जी सर. कह रहा चल फिर गा के सुना दे कुछ.
No way. Oh my God.
Dude. It's like चल फिर सुना दे गाना कोई. गुलाबी आंखें सुना दे.
Oh, always. It has to be that song.
Always has to be that song.
Every time.
And dude, but fortunately that song I sung like
Yeah.
2 lines. I was like side में खड़े होके ऐसे हाथ पीछे करके
हाँ.
गुलाबी आंखें. I was like so naive, like come on, I just
Yeah.
started performing. And I was like I sang 2 lines and he's like चल ठीक करवा ले इसको
Oh
फटाफट.
my God, that's like straight out of a
I'm like,
movie.
oh god, मैं कहा ये रास्ते में कितने पुलिस वालों को
Yeah.
गुलाबी आंखें सुनाऊंगा मैं.
The only time Gulabi Aankhen has ever saved someone's ass. This is that time.
I know, dude. I know. Like otherwise, it would be drunk
Telling
people
you to
telling
sing,
you to sing
forcing you to
Gulabi
sing
Aankhen.
it.
Like this was the best use of Gulabi Aankhen ever.
I love that. That's crazy.
That was crazy, dude. That was crazy. But that's what I'm saying. Like it's like this is what I love about like performing, being a performer, and everything else. You get to travel and you get to do
Yeah.
so many crazy things. अब online तो नहीं होने वाला यार ये सब.
True, man. I too haven't been able to.
जाने
Yeah.
का.
I mean, ever since people started doing live streams and stuff, and I wanted to, but it just never like it doesn't give you the same feeling as a live gig would. And I know that's like ठीक है, that's a very
know.
basic reason to state, but still, it just doesn't give me the same feeling. And other restrictions, keeping in mind all of that, I just never did. But the other day, I did do a live stream. It was my first live stream after the whole thing had started, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's crazy.
And it was a lot of fun. So
Where? Like on Instagram?
it was this page where they usually host these nice book nights and book reading sessions, and then music nights and all of these things. And it was
Lovely.
really interesting. I had so much fun. It was more like a come and talk to us, talk about your life and all of this, and then just like sing a few songs if you want. And it was so much fun. It ended up getting streamed on YouTube, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So, music and all is fine, but what are your other passions and hobbies apart from music?
Oh, okay. Um, I'd say even though music has been a very prominent part of my life, and quite predominantly just like spread out across my, adolescent life and my adult life. But I'd say I've picked up photography quite a lot. I love clicking photos of people
Oh,
and places that I love. Like if I go somewhere, I mean, ab to kahan hi jana hai, but if I ever go somewhere, I would like, click a lot of things here and there. I would force my friends to like best friends to come. I did do that. I did force a lot of my best friends to come over on different days, and like I would do their makeup and like hair, and I would, make them sit somewhere and be like, okay, this is, you have to do this, do that, and take their pictures. And it turned out pretty decent, like, and it was a lot of fun. It's a lot about,
wow.
visually putting your creativity out there. It's more like that. I see a lot of
Correct.
my music also when I'm writing is a lot about visualizing. So I think that's why I gravitate towards photography a lot more than any other activity, I'd say, because it's that
Correct.
sense of
Correct.
being able to see something come to life. Yeah. Yeah. Besides that, I
Wow.
love eating. That's one of my hobbies. That's always there.
Dude, Punjabis,
It's
come
in our
on. You
blood.
don't have to say
Yeah.
that.
That
That was
was I was
understood.
understood. Yeah, you're right. Completely.
Crazy dude. एक तो दिल्ली वाले ऊपर से
True.
पंजाबी.
There is no that's a great
Amazing,
combination,
amazing.
honestly. There's no better combination than that.
Yeah, I know. I'm like going out and performing every other day to,
Mm-hmm.
wherever. And people are like, okay, what do you want to have? Like, that's the
Yeah,
first
yeah, yeah.
question. You go there, hey man, what's up? Hey, hello ji,
क्या
कैसे हो
खाओगे?
आप?
पियोगे
पियोगे
क्या?
क्या?
And खाओगे क्या? Yeah. Yeah,
पियोगे
yeah,
क्या?
yeah.
चलो खाना तो बाद में आता है.
Yeah.
पियोगे क्या? I'm like, नहीं नहीं, thank you, I'm good. अरे पी लो, कोई
हाँ.
शर्म की बात. अरे आप मैं
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
क्या बोलूँ, मैं नहीं
हाँ.
पीता. He's like, नहीं पीते?
Oh, you don't drink actually?
नाम तो
अच्छा.
आपका चावला है. कहते नाम
Yeah.
आपका चावला है. मैंने कहा नाम चावला है पर नहीं
हाँ.
पीता, अब मैं क्या.
Yeah.
कहते कि अच्छा ठीक है, देन आफ्टर वाइल लाइक सोच लो, नहीं ऐसी क्या बात है, आप शर्मा रहे हो ये वो. मैंने कहा यार पंजाबी
हाँ.
शर्माते नहीं है, वो बात
हाँ.
नहीं है. मैंने कहा बात सिंपल सी है. नहीं यार यार तो आफ्टर वाइल देर लाइक अच्छा अच्छा प्लीज आप लो
हाँ.
ना, स्टार्टर्स लो एंड ऑल दैट. दे एंजॉय द सिंगिंग
Yeah.
एंड देर लाइक इवन मोर
Yeah, yeah,
हम्बल
yeah.
एंड मोर
Yeah.
ऑफरिंग. सो देर लाइक अच्छा प्लीज कुछ लो ना यार, ये फिश,
Yeah.
ये चिकन एंड ऑल दैट. आई एम लाइक नहीं नहीं थैंक यू सॉरी, आई एम वेजिटेरियन. आप उनको कह रही.
Dude, you have so you have the same
They're like
story as
sorry.
my dad. Can I just say? You have the same story as my dad. Nobody
Yeah,
believes
yeah,
that
yeah.
my dad is a non-alcoholic vegetarian, Sardarji. Nobody believes him.
I know, dude. I need to meet
Yeah,
uncle.
dude. None of my friends, they've always been so surprised and shocked at learning the fact that he doesn't drink and he doesn't eat meat and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's crazy. I totally relate to that.
So it's it's crazy, And then after that, they're like, अच्छा मतलब आप पीते नहीं हो, आप खाते भी नहीं हो. अरे यार समझ नहीं आई. कह रहे नकली पंजाबी हो
नकली
आप.
पंजाबी.
आप नहीं हो सकते. Like come on,
I
please.
swear.
But dude,
Stereotypes.
it's crazy,
Yeah,
It's so much fun. And this happens like almost at like every second
I can
gig.
imagine. Yeah.
सबसे पहला question is
Yeah.
क्या पियोगे? And that kya piyoge is not once, no, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like that's at least
Yeah.
14 times
True. True.
throughout the gig.
Very true.
Best part of
Yeah.
performing. You get to meet so many people, travel so much, have so much, even if it's just vegetarian
Vegetarian.
and non-alcoholic.
That's crazy.
Fake Punjabi stuff, but it's crazy. Okay, so let's talk a little more about your music. And So you've collaborated with Mojojojo,
I have.
and the song's name is Sone
Yep.
De. I think it came out in
Yep.
2020,
Yeah.
and it's like it's everywhere. It's crazy. I heard it. It's absolutely amazing. Can you tell us a little bit more about your collaboration and how it worked out, the process
Sure.
of it?
So, Akshay and I have already done Sapne. It came out
Okay.
2 years ago, and ever since then we've been wanting to work on another track. And he one day he just sent me this track, and it was like peak pandemic, so like it was literally nothing else was happening. Um, and No studios were open, nobody was really going anywhere. It was very
Yeah.
like complete lockdown situation. And so he sends me this track, and the other singer, Akshay Oberoi, who sung on it, so he had already laid down his vocals and they were wonderful. And he's like, okay,
Yeah.
this is your space, you do your thing. It's just it's so much fun because Akshay and I, ever since we've been working, we realized that we don't really need to communicate too much with each other. It's always understood. And when you find that kind of a mutual understanding with someone, with another artist, it's so much fun.
Correct.
Honestly, it's so much fun creating,
I
because
know.
without really putting things into without putting things into words, you can come up with things that the other person would like you're always on the same page. So that's always been a very you know wonderful thing about my process with Akshay, especially. So it's Akshay and Akshay both. So Mojo is also Akshay, and the guy
Yeah.
that was singing on the track was also Akshay. So when we were doing our promotions and all, like we would get on these calls with people, like Zoom calls and stuff, with the Mojo's fans and stuff, and it would just get confusing because everybody would be addressing different Akshays in the chat and stuff. So it was funny, but yeah, like Sonide was, the moment I heard it, I was like, dude, this is the chillest track I've heard in a while, honestly, and it was so much fun,
Yeah.
and I
Amazing.
sang it. So my process is very, I would say, very, like, it's not entirely very flexible. I give myself one day to work on one thing, and I would sit on it for as long as I possibly can, but I would finish it and then leave it. You know what I mean? Like I would send the person,
Correct.
whoever I'm collaborating with, I would send them a very finished, near to finished product, and then like ask for feedback and everything. So luckily, again, like we didn't have access to studios or anything at that point of time. So I recorded everything on my SM58 ghar pe, in a corner, just like kind of total jugaad situation. And I
Yeah.
recorded everything. I sent him everything, harmonies, everything. And he's like, cool, done. And I was like, you don't have any feedback? Like, do I not have to change anything? He's like, no. And that's the best part about working with him. Like, we know what we like. Like, we know what the other person would like. And that's always been so much. I'm so grateful for that, because that kind of an understanding is very hard to come by when you're collaborating with someone. And I think I just got lucky. So our process has
Correct.
always been like very smooth and, just chill. So, and we're very honest. He's very honest with his feedback, and I'm very honest with, like, So that's one of the perks, and especially that's one of the most imperative things I think one should be looking for in a collaborative partner. Like, if you're a singer collaborating with a producer, you need to know that both of you are on the same page with the vision of the song, or who's contributing how much. That's extremely important before even, like, diving into any project. Like, you need to know what's your capacity in this project and how you're going to be perceived. So all of that, it's just been a very fun honest process with Mojo, every song of ours. Yeah.
Amazing. So can you also tell us a little bit about the process of the collaboration, like kind of understanding you need to have, and the kind of paperwork probably, and like just to make sure
Mhm.
everybody is in a good and in a good spot, like nobody's
Yeah.
taking advantage of anybody else and things like that. Did you go through
No.
any paperwork or anything like that during your
When
collaborations
it
or?
comes to collaborations, you need to be very sure of, again, as I said, like what capacity you are entering this collaboration in. Where Mojo and I were involved, we were very sure. this is what we're doing, this is my role, and this is your song, and this is what we're doing. You've given me these things, and I have
Perfect.
these things to offer on the table, and everything was on the table. So we didn't really feel the need to have a paperwork, or anything.
Absolutely.
But it really depends on from person to person. Like it genuinely, it needs to have there needs to be like a common ground that everyone meets, and that common ground in itself, you can't just forget about it. You have to keep revisiting it during the process, because it's going to be a long process, like
Absolutely.
it's going to be a process where you'll have to keep revisiting that common ground, make sure everyone is aware of their responsibilities, of their capacities, and how much are you contributing to this song, and in what nature. So wherever it is, it feels like it's necessary, and especially if it's with someone you don't know personally, if it's a producer off of Instagram who's reached out to you, or if you've reached out to
Correct.
someone, it would be helpful if you draw up some paperwork, because it is a matter of business at the end of the day. You will be
Correct.
promoting it from your end, they will be doing their promotions, and there needs to be like this common n- narrative between the both parties, and it has to be completely streamlined. So in order for it to be that,
Correct.
it there needs to be some sort of a paperwork, even if it's just on email, but I would say again, like if you're going to be a professional
Absolutely.
artist, a professional musician, you need to have that. Like you need to have the drive to be a little more
Correct. Absolutely.
professional and a little more out there, even if it's something that you haven't done before. Straight up,
Correct.
just do it. That is the step to going into professional.
Always the first time for
Exactly.
everything.
Yeah.
And that's what I realized after collaborating with a few people, that you start off, you call it a
Hmm.
collaboration, and then if the other person's like, no, but I actually own this
Yeah.
entire production or like composition or like the final product, that's not true, because there are so many things that come into play when you start discussing about, say, royalties, or like who's the main artist, who's the featured artist, and all that. And see, ultimately, if you don't care about, probably fame and money,
Yeah.
that's fine. Then you'll be fine with just working, just putting it out there. You'll be like, ठीक है, मुझे मेरा नाम मिल रहा है,
Hmm.
that's it. But if suppose that song
Yeah.
was big, then what do you do? Like, because collaborations can definitely
For
become very
sure.
huge.
Yeah.
And that's where I realized, no, it's very important to have paperwork, you know. So what I do is I have drafted documents,
Hmm.
suppose on my
Hmm.
studio's front. And it's just like, okay, so this is not a monetary contract, we're not paying anybody each other, but everybody knows their
Yeah.
role, and their, it's like probably you
Yeah.
are entirely responsible for the,
Hmm.
if somebody
Hmm.
claims
Yeah.
a copyright against something that I suppose I've hired
Yeah.
a singer to, like sing on my track, but they also like do their
Hmm.
own thing, and fortunately, unfortunately, they sing a part which is very
Hmm.
catchy, and but somebody already has a copyright
Yeah.
over that part, and I put it out because I have never
Yeah.
heard that part, and now that part is being copyrighted and claimed, and I am
Yeah.
the responsible person for that. So all these things, then it's like you either do it together, or if you've drafted a
Hmm.
document, then it's fine. But I think it works well when you know the other
Yeah.
person very well. These are so many little things that the music industry in India and everybody else still needs to iron out.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if it's one off thing, I think it's really good to have contracts and be at least formal and vocal
Hmm.
about it, about what you want and what the other person is getting out of it.
Yeah. True. 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 Very true.
Yeah. So that was your collaboration with the Mojo and Akshay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll call them Mojo and Akshay, not Akshay and
That makes sense.
Akshay. Perfect. And you've also released your debut single.
Yes.
It's called Midnight
Yep.
Lover.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about
Sure.
it?
So, Midnight Lover is my debut single, which I released on April 16th. just last month. And a couple of days ago, it finished. It completed one whole month, so that was a very big deal for me because I mean, again, it's my I have released tracks before, but only as a featured artist. So this one was a whole different,
Yeah.
ball game for me. So, and it was a lot of fun because and also a very gruesome process because it had been really long, since I had finished completely writing that song. And it just so happened that because of things and circumstances that just kept going on and on, everything kept getting in the way. I was only able to release the song last month, and but I wouldn't change it for the world. Honestly, the timeline has been just great. It's good. It all happened in due time, and
Perfect.
it was all good. So Midnight Lover, I wrote it in like peak pandemic time, when it was, I think, July end. I would say July end was when I had started writing
Yeah.
it, and I remember it came out. Um it so I actually put this thing out on Instagram where I was like, okay, like give me things to write about, because I had been super creatively drained the past few weeks. उससे पहले I was just like, मेरा दिमाग बिल्कुल नहीं चल रहा है, मुझसे कुछ नहीं होने वाला, nothing is happening, all creativity is
Yeah.
going down the drain, nothing is going on in my life creatively. So I put it out on Instagram as a very impulsive thing. I was very impulsive that one weird evening. So I put it out. I said, okay, like send me prompts. I'll write something. And I did not think I would follow through with it because I wouldn't usually do that. I've never done that before. So um I did actually end up receiving really cool prompts, but they were so different from one another. I got cat and snowflake and fucking curtains and God knows what else, like
Oh God.
weird things I got. And I got this one you know phrase called midnight love, and that just kind of stuck in my
Yeah.
head, got stuck in my head. And then cat, and then snowflake, and all these things, I started thinking very metaphorically, and I started writing
Yeah.
this story, and this story kind of just blossomed into this weird, twisted, toxic story of a midnight lover instead of just midnight love as a concept. And it came out to be
Yeah.
this you know, is ode to a midnight lover that's never really completely there in your life. It's just someone who likes to be around you, and it's this very toxic, confusing environment that they put you in, and you want to leave but you can't, and you just come up to this realization that I have to leave no matter what. But there is this someone who's like holding me back, and this whole song kind of
Correct.
follows that narrative. Like it's about pulling and pushing and all of that. It's about wanting to leave but being pulled back, and then being held back and all of that. And it talks about how it should be seen as this reminder for everyone that like, do not let yourself be treated badly by someone who doesn't commit fully to you. That's the whole idea of the song. It's like this
Correct.
reminder.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the whole premise of the song is like, the chorus essentially is that the lyrics go like, you couldn't love me in the day, you just wanted to be my midnight lover. So it kind of poses this
Oh,
juxtaposition
crazy.
with day and nighttime, because if you can't love someone fully, 24 hours nahi, but like it's just at night when you have this convenient time to reach
Yeah.
out to someone. It's like that. So um yeah, that's the whole story about the song, and I'm so glad that I finished it, because I'd never finished things in my life. But I finished it and it was out, and I'm just so,
It's all
I
of us.
swear, I'm so happy it's out. And yeah, I can't wait to write more stuff. Yeah,
Crazy. Wow. I love how this idea comes from an
I know,
Instagram
right?
poll or a question and then becomes, turns into something so amazing that people can relate to. And, like suddenly I was able to relate to this key. Oh, it's like it has to be throughout the day. And it's not just about, loving the person when it's convenient for you. It's crazy. Can we hear it
Of
from you?
course, I would love to play it. So I'll play the first yeah. half of it. The rest you guys can listen on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you want, Apple Music. Just a little plug-in.
Amazing.
Here it
Crazy.
goes. Cat's out of the bag. I'm not coming back. Thought you were my snowflake. All you gave me was heartache. My one in a million. Warm and blue. All I wanted was some sunlight and someone to pull me through. This is not my heaven. This isn't even hell. I wanna be stuck with you, but you don't treat me well. No, you couldn't love me in the day. You just wanted to be my midnight, midnight, midnight lover. You were my midnight, midnight, midnight lover. Ah, 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 ah. So that's half of it.
Wow. Dude.
Thank you.
That was so good. That was
Thank
so
you
nice.
so much. That means so much to me. This is the second time I have ever accompanied myself, so this actually means a lot to me that you like it.
Congratulations. No, but this was lovely.
Thank
This
you.
was absolutely lovely. So, is there more music in the pipeline ready to come out?
There is. I've been writing a lot actually. Thankfully, touch wood. I've been writing a lot lately, but there's also a lot of songs that I had never really thought of after writing them first. So I'm pulling them all out of my trunk of the past and like taking out songs that I've written years ago, and I'm hoping to release them now because now that I do have one song out, I'm more motivated after that. So I'm hoping that I can pull all those dead songs out and just like work on them again with a a set of fresh eyes and ears and put all of them out. So hopefully the next couple of months are going to be very, very productive and just on the releasing front at least. So yeah, hoping for that.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So, looking forward to that. Also, can you tell us a little bit more about the Berkeley experience? You've learned and you've attended the workshop, and now you've done 2 semesters
Yeah.
there. How's it been for
It's
you?
been
Like for everybody for everybody who wants to attend Berkeley and just know how it goes on there, and also the online experience. Could you just share some light?
yeah, I mean it's been hectic, I would say. It's been super hectic even though it's been all online.
Okay.
It was extremely hectic, especially being here in this time zone and then attending classes late at night, which was very grueling. I think it was the time zone differences just like really fucked up my sleep cycle. I was walking like a zombie for months on end, and it was just very bad. It was it was as bad as the side effects.
Everyone
Yeah,
prepare.
as bad as the side effects I got after the vaccine, honestly. Like that just extended throughout
Oh God.
the last 2 semesters.
Vaccine for 2 years.
Literally. So 2 semesters I started back in fall of 2020, which was September. Um, and I was just this excited kid on on her first day of school, and like I set up my thing so that people could see me with like good lighting and all of that coming. And then after the one class, I was like, fuck this shit, मेरे से नहीं होगा, रोज नहीं होगा. I ended up just like pulling my laptop up from where I'm sitting in bed all day, and I'm like, yes, okay, I am here. you know. But the professors I met online, the people I met, the orientations we went through, it was wonderful. I think this is an experience that it is just unparalleled. Like I can't possibly put it in terms that would make sense to me because it's something that I've felt for so long. It's been so nourishing, just the amount of sheer guidance and like unparalleled conversations, intellect that you get from attending those classes is it's great. It just really gets you creatively flowing, and I can't believe that in the last 3 months I've written more songs than I ever did in the last 2-3 years because of being in a environment in
Wow.
an environment where they 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 want you to write, even if it's crap. Write crap, but get it out of your system so
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
hear it from your own, you play things, you write things, even if they seem crap to you at once. Suddenly there would be something that you would learn in class that they would make like a switch go on in your head, and it will change the entire face of that song that you once hated. So it's been
Absolutely.
crazy. The experience is completely unparalleled. I can't wait to physically be there and experience it properly, because that's what uni's about. That's what school's about. Like, especially a school as
Yeah.
massive as
Yeah.
Berklee, where you're just surrounded by talent all
Crazy.
day around. And I was worried. I was genuinely worried whether being surrounded by massively talented people would bring me down or would motivate me. I was worried between those two things, but it's been kind of balanced, I would say. Like, it's really up to you how you use that education and how you use that time, and learning and everything. It really depends on how you see it, and how much do you grab onto while you're there. They can't force you to write stuff, or they can't just they give you like a cheat sheet of
Absolutely.
like, हाँ तुम ये करोगे तो everything will be fine. ऐसा नहीं है. Like, they can't guarantee you jobs. No college in the world can do that. It really like just
Nobody.
depends
Yeah.
on what you take out from each class. So
Correct.
yeah, that's about it. Like, if you do have the chance to, like, sure, definitely explore it. I myself struggled with the decision for 3 years, 2 years, because I got my admission back in 2018, but I joined in 2020. So yeah,
Wow.
it was because, again, finances, all of these things. Thankfully, I'm very
Yeah. Yeah.
grateful
Yeah.
that I got a scholarship where I was able to,
Yeah.
at least lessen some of the burden. And just,
Correct.
now I'm just focusing on cutting costs from everywhere. And that's a very realistic thing to think about before you end up at a
Absolutely.
place like this or any other place. So to anyone who wants to try this, just know that it is possible if you make the right decisions before going, like during this process. So definitely, like, it's but I would say it's worth it if only you make it worth it. They won't give you a cheat sheet to,
Absolutely.
like, yeah, go through the whole thing experience.
All right. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today, Taisha. It was lovely speaking to you.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. I think we covered so many things. I wasn't expecting to, talk so much about, everything, but it was so much fun. I had the best time. Thank you for having me. And yeah,
Pleasure. 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 Fine. Amazing. Looking forward to more music from you, and let us know. We're looking forward to everyone subscribe to Taisha's channels, Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube.
for sure.
You're on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I am. I actually just released my music video as well for Midnight Lovers. So
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah, it's all there everywhere. So yeah, go check it out.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. Perfect. Chalo. See you soon. Take care.
Hope to see you soon too. Bye.
So, guys, hope you like this conversation with Tyesha Kohli. I'm sure we've learned so much from her. If you like this one, don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button and turn on notifications. If you want, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And I hope to see you guys in the next one.